Hi everyone, welcome to the channel where I review some of the latest and greatest in technology, more specifically audio equipment. Today I'm quite excited. I've been trying to get this item for some time now, so quite excited about unboxing the SVS Micro 3000 subwoofer. This subwoofer is actually known for its compact but yet powerful feature. And fun fact is, it's actually one of, or actually if not the smallest subwoofer that SVS has ever released. So in this video we're gonna go ahead and unbox it and go over some of the key features of this subwoofer that SVS released, which I believe it was announced in sometime in 2019. I'm not quite sure when it was released, but yeah, let's go ahead and pick up the box so we can go ahead and unbox. All right, so you can see it's not really a, it's not that big of a box. I don't know how, it's probably what, maybe 13 or 14 inches wide. So, it's not a pretty big subwoofer like I mentioned. This is the smallest subwoofer that SVS has ever released, but it does have some pretty neat features that I was looking forward to and why I wanted to get my hands on one. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. All right, so looking at the box, there's not a whole lot of stuff that appears to be inside. Just to make it a little simpler, what I'll do is I'll just keep the box on the table here and just take out all the items that are on the top, and then eventually get to the subwoofer. So let me see here. So we have the obviously comes with the power cable. It does come with a 6-foot power cable. And it's pretty neat that it includes a power cable that you can disconnect. So, if you want to buy another power cable that's longer than 6 foot, you can actually go ahead and do so. It's not proprietary to SVS, so it's pretty cool that it's detachable. And this is just the top styrofoam to protect the subwoofer. So you can see we have the manual here. Nothing else, and then we just have the subwoofer, so that's pretty much it. So what I'll do is let me put this on the floor and I'll go ahead and take this out so I can set it on the table. Alright, so first impression, it's really small. Compared to subs that I've seen from SVS and also other popular subs like Klipsch and all that, and also Definitive Technology, this is a pretty small sub. They do include a protective cloth or sleeve of some sort on top. Grand reveal. So it does, like I mentioned, it comes in two finishes. It comes in white as well as black, both in piano finish. So they're both shiny. I think, the white one might have been better, but it wasn't available at this time, so I decided to just go with the black. I mean, it's not a huge box, so I wasn't too concerned about whether it's going to be white or black. So I think this will do. But yeah, take a look at the size of the subwoofer though. It's really pretty tiny. It looks like a subwoofer that would come with like a sound bar or something. So to show perspective on how big this subwoofer is, I'm just going to put my phone to the side right here so you can get an idea. Also at the top. So not a big sub. The dimensions are, it is about 10 inches tall, 11 inches wide, and also 10 inches deep. So it's pretty much a cube. So what I decided to do is the first portion that we're going to cover is just the back panel, since that's pretty much where everything is. And like I mentioned, it's a small cube. It weighs 22.5 pounds, so not too heavy. It's definitely going to be a good fit if you have a smaller environment that you want to put this in. So let's go through the some of the controls that I see in the back. So the rear panel intelligent control interface is what it's called right here. You have different items such as the level control to fine tune the overall output level that best matches the system and the room, so you can control the volume or the decibels. So you have, you know, plus and minus right here. You also have the low pass filter control knob button right here. So this basically ensures that a smooth sonic transition and seamless blending with the main speakers is achieved. So you can go ahead and use this button right here. You obviously have the volume, then you have the phase control button right here to align to the subwoofer's output timing with the main speakers or additional subwoofers. So this basically just adds an electrical delay so that, you know, especially for cases where you may have multiple subs in the room, you may have to adjust the phase control. So that way, you know, maybe one sub doesn't cancel out the others, so things like that. So that's pretty much what these buttons are. I also see you have an RCA input right there. So you can see the RCA right here, and then you have an LFE input right here. So, you know, I've seen topics about whether to use RCA or LFE. From what I've seen in all this, you know, the amplifiers that amplifiers/receivers that I've seen lately, they all have an LFE input. So that's what I tend to use for my application, because I'm planning to connect this to my Marantz receiver. So I'll be using the LFE input. So that basically means, you know, there's really no difference between either using the RCA or the LFE. Basically, if you decide to use the LFE, that means the crossover settings in here won't be used. So in my case, you know, I'll be using the LFE because all of the bass controls are going to be on the receiver anyway. So that's what this is for. We have the power input right here, as well as off and on switch. Let's see what else we got. Oh, and then we have a USB input right here. That you can use for, so SVS actually has a wireless module that you can use. So if you plan to maybe put this next to your couch, that's kind of far away from where your receiver is, you can buy this wireless transmitter that you can hook up to here. So that's pretty neat that they included that. So so that's all the the connections that we have in the back. All right, let me just turn this around. So, you know, you have one driver here, and actually let's go back and talk about the amp. So this has an 800 watt RMS amp, and to my surprise, a subwoofer this small has a 2500 watt for peak power. So with this in mind, the frequency response is from 23 hertz to 240. So it goes low, and you know, no matter the technology that they decide to include in here to try to make it as compact as possible, you're still gonna have, you know, physics working against you. So the bigger the cabinet, you know, the lower the frequency response that a sub can achieve. So, you know, with a subwoofer this small, they obviously have to do some tweaks. But it still means that they have to include a pretty powerful amplifier so that, you know, because the drivers are going to have to work extra hard to achieve this sort of low frequency, because the cabinet is so small. As you can see here, it's 10 inches wide and 10 inches deep. So, you know, these drivers have to work extra hard. So, you know, you have driver A here and then driver B on the other side. So you have two dual opposing 8-inch drivers. These are both 8-inch drivers that are on each side. They face out this way. And I did show you the controls here. Honestly, I don't know how easy it will be to use it right here, or to control the different settings here. I think it would just make sense to use the application that they have that you can actually download on your iOS or Android device, and you have basically full control over all of the different options that you see here. So the crossover settings, if you want to mess with that, the volume, like the phase control, all of these different settings that are in here are going to be as part of the app that you can use to control the different settings for the subwoofer. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed the unboxing video. I am quite excited to go ahead and plug this into our family room to see how it sounds. This will be paired up with the Definitive Technology D11 bookshelf speakers. And because those speakers don't have any built-in subwoofers, I think this is going to complement those speakers really well. I decided to go with this one rather than, because Definitive Technology do make their own subwoofers. They start off with an 8-inch and then go to 10, 12, and then 15-inch subwoofers. Those are all, so Definitive Technology uses bass radiators, so they don't have any ports or anything like that, which is cool. I do prefer those than the ported ones, although for movies, I can understand why you want to go with ported subwoofers. But for the power that you're getting with this small form factor, I mean 800 RMS and also 2500 peak, you can't go wrong with that. And it does hit pretty low. I mean, compared to like the 8-inch Definitive Technology subwoofers that they got, these hit pretty low. I think the Definitive Technology ones hit as low as 30 hertz. I believe the 8-inch ones at least. But this one, it's able to go down to 23 hertz, at least, per the specs published by SVS. So I'll be testing that out to see if that's the case. But yeah, dual drivers, like I mentioned, they face this way. The grills I noticed are not removable. Typically with SVS subs, they have a pretty large grill that basically cover the whole front section of the subwoofers, like even the sealed boxes, the SB1000, 2000, 3000, and 4000, even their biggest ones, the SB15s or 16s, I believe. All of those have removable grills, but this one, it doesn't appear that you can actually remove this grill, so I'm not even going to try. But I have seen some videos of some people using small screwdrivers to try and remove the grills. For me, I really don't see the purpose of doing that. I can understand why you want to remove them for the bigger subs, but these, I mean, the subs are going to be facing, this way, so there's no point of removing this grill. So, I do like the look of subwoofers without a grill, but that's something that I would prefer to see with their larger subs, like the SB 2000s, 3000s. So because those, it only has one driver, and that's going to be in the front. And this two driver design is something that SVS has not done before, at least to my knowledge, that I saw on their website. All of their subwoofers have front-facing drivers, and they vary by size. So this one has two on the side. So there's really no point of trying to remove the grill. I do like the fact that, let me just turn it to the side here. So these, the feet here, it is removable. I didn't think it was. I thought it might have been something that's glued on. So it's pretty cool that it is removable. So they're cone shaped. So it's a little tough to see, but they're cone shaped and is rubber. So this is going to do a pretty good job of isolating, some of the vibrations that you get when you have this sitting on, the hardwood floors or something like that. So you don't get that boomy sound with subs when it rattles everything pretty much. So I think this will do a decent job of trying to isolate the bass when you have it sitting on your floor. SVS does sell some they're much larger ones, some isolating rubber feet that you can also screw in here, I believe. I think the thread size should fit this, but I think these will be fine. I'll give it a test and see if I notice too much rattling. So but yeah, I'm quite excited. I picked out this box mostly because the room that we're going to be putting this in is, we mostly do music listening, so I think a sealed box like this, a compact box, is going to give us that tight bass that I personally enjoy when it comes to music. But I can understand for movies and stuff like that, or possibly video games where you want that extra oomph coming from the subs. Then you want to go with a ported sub. those produce a much lower frequency, and also they have pretty large cabinet, so they're able to hit those low notes. So hopefully you enjoyed our unboxing video. Quite excited. I can't wait to plug these in and see how they sound in our family room. I think this is pretty good sub. Worst case scenario, if I feel like it's doesn't have that much power, because it's so small, this is something where you can have an additional subwoofer that you can put on the other side of your room, because it's some of their subs are quite huge and you don't want to put that in your family room unless you have like a dedicated home theater. So this is something that is going to look quite nice even if you have 2, 3, 4 subs in your room. They're barely noticeable, as you can see. So quite excited about that. I'll be putting up some videos of trying this out so you can get an idea of how they sound after I pair them up with the Definitive Technology speakers. Thank you for your support. Have a great day.